Thanks so much. Hi, everyone. Lovely to be here with you today. I'm Bryn O'Donnell, one of the Social Impact Program Managers over at FF and FFDW, here to tell you a little bit more today about our partnership with Harvard's Library Innovation Lab. I'm going to start at a high level first, though, and talk about link rot, which is pervasive, and the repercussions are potentially quite serious. So one study done in 2021 between Harvard and the New York Times looked at over 2 million URLs in New York Times articles and found that a quarter of those are completely broken and no longer pointing to accurate sources. And in keeping with the theme set for this deep dive by the talk prior to mine, when it comes to lawyers and legal scenarios, this can have serious ramifications when references to court precedents or citing previous legal cases becomes impossible. And so one study found, in fact, that 50% of the URLs in US Supreme Court decisions are no longer linking to the originally cited material. So we are partnering with one group working to combat this issue, and that is Harvard's Library Innovation Lab, which I'll refer to as LIL, which is their acronym of choice. And so they are a specialized lab within Harvard, and LIL explores new ways for libraries to share knowledge through technology. And so they have a really strong track record of building out sites and tools that make an impact by protecting and increasing access to some of humanity's most important information. And so I've linked 3 of their tools and resources here. So one is perma.cc, which works with over 500 organizations to provide web archiving tools to authors and scholars that want to save their citations from link rot. Another resource they've created is opencasebook.org, which democratizes textbook access by empowering professors to create and remix free digital texts for their classrooms. And the last big chunk of work that they do is the LIL Case Law Access Project, which has scanned and made freely available all of US case law, which really is trying to democratize access while redefining how we are all able to study the law. And so our partnership with them is specifically around this Democratizing Open Knowledge program. So this is a 3-year partnership that is focused on enhancing discovery and engagement with open data and exploring new ways to preserve digital information. And so they're really looking to address big challenges that have arisen as more information becomes digital, such as equitable access to information and knowledge, rises in disinformation, and trying to establish trustworthy sources, and then also, of course, the long-term preservation of digital information. And that those priorities align closely with FFDW's mission to preserve humanity's most important information. And so some of the activities that they are exploring as part of this partnership include data storage initiatives to get some of those important case studies and resources I mentioned on the slide prior onto decentralized storage and really fight and combat link rot. They're also exploring what building an educational installation might look like on the Harvard campus. So an exhibit to help visitors understand and compare the operation of novel digital preservation tools. They're also going to be exploring the creation of strong dark archives. And strong dark archives allow for multiple key holders to share sensitive cultural information. And so these types of archives can support resilience and long-term preservation of critical information. And then, of course, they really want to make a web-based showcase of data sets, such as perma.cc and case.law, stored on IPFS and Filecoin and potentially other decentralized storage. And so that's just a very quick snapshot into one of the many FFDW partnerships that are ongoing with nonprofits and cultural and academic institutions that are really trying to leverage decentralized storage for social good and public benefit. And so for those of you that aren't familiar with FFDW or the Filecoin Foundation for the Decentralized Web, we are the 501c3 nonprofit arm. Really focused on charitable activities related to preserving humanity's most important information. And we have 3 main goals that guide our work, and we refer to those as our ABCs. And so A is to accelerate the adoption of open decentralized technologies. B is to build communities of champions and users of these technologies. And finally, C is to communicate the values and benefits of these technologies to wider audiences, both lawmakers and legislators, as well as to the general public. So really quickly, we have 3 main areas through which we do this work, and that's education, development, and research. And so I wanted to highlight one quick example of our work in each of these areas. So in terms of education, we have actually just signed on a new project partner that is looking to educate policymakers. And so they're going to bring diverse technology talent and training to legislators by placing computer scientists and engineers as fellows into congressional offices. In development, one of our nonprofit partners, Starling Labs, if you haven't heard of this yet, they have just taken evidence that was stored on the blockchain of war crimes happening on the front lines in Ukraine and submitted that to the International Criminal Court. So this is the first ever dossier of its kind submitted to the ICC that leverages blockchain for its verification and immutability. The last piece I'll mention is our research work, and this is also our ask for you all today. We have partnered with a group called Connect Humanity that has launched a survey that is open until mid-September, so the deadline is coming up. And this survey aims to capture civil society's digital needs and gain a better understanding of the digital divide. We're really trying to use the results of this survey to shape philanthropy and policy to bring more resources to communities around this critical issue. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. If everyone could please promote that with your networks. And that's it for us.